Well, a year into the job, obviously I have a number of personal highlights. First one would probably be Rising. I think actually seeing Rising and being present in reality is fantastic, and just the quality of the inputs we had, and also the excitement for where Rising can go in the future with the kind of pop-up events, with the digital presence, but just being able to have those high quality conversations in Coventry were, it was really fantastic. So that would be one. Second one, I think just the chance to talk to people and understand the quality of the research that we're doing, and to read some of that research and understand the implications and the impact and the sophistication of what we do across a whole range of things, and a really wide range, would be my second. And the third one, I think, is the process around developing the themes of the centre and the institute as we move forward over the next number of years, because I think it's a given that we're going to have a good result, which will become clear imminently, but where we can go and how we can move the centre and the institute forward even further, I think will be fantastic. So it's kind of a complex mix. I should probably add that getting to the point where I could actually meet people in real life rather than online as the pandemic faded away was definitely the highlight. That's when I think, for me personally, the excitement of CTPSR began to come to the fore. Looking back at the last year, which has included the pandemic, but also the events in Afghanistan, most recently the Russian invasion of Ukraine, with all the horror of a war being so visible to us, I think it's been a really, really difficult year for everyone. What's very encouraging is that the centre has continued to do its work, has actually had a really good year in terms of the volume and quality of work that we have done. I think we need to make sure that the insights we have in the drivers of conflict and the drivers of peace, I think we need to find ways of sharing those more impactfully. So I think we've done incredibly well. If you look at the number of publications coming out of the centre, the number of PhD completions, all of that's absolutely amazing. The next bit, I think, for us is to make sure that those insights are used by the people who need to use them, and that they're aware of them ahead of a crisis. I think that's the next challenge for us as well. One of the advantages we have as a centre is that we are based in Coventry, which is the UK's only city of peace and reconciliation, and that is an important asset. It enables us to say a couple of things. One is that we apply some of the things that we learn within our own city, and we help make our own city, good for its citizens, very welcoming to migrants and refugees. And we apply the insight locally, and I think a lot of the work that we do in the city proves that. But the second thing it allows us to do is to legitimately be part of a conversation with like-minded cities and communities around the world. And I think it's something which we need to do, again, more of. I think it's fantastic that we do what we do, but I think there's a huge asset here which we as the centre can deploy and use it in having conversations with other cities which have maybe issues of conflict within the city, and where social relations within the city have broken down, and then use our own experience and our own ethos, which comes out of being the city of peace and reconciliation, and use that intelligently around the world. I think looking forward, the themes that we have been working on, and which I think most people within the centre certainly will have seen, are the things we want to be really, really good at, so that in 5 years' time, when we look back, we'll be able to say that we are a world-class, well-recognised leader in impactful research against each of those themes. So whether it's about migration, or it's about protective security, or it's about leadership, governance and trust, or indeed the other themes, then we will have a leading global position and be recognised by our peers globally as having that position. I think that's the goal for the next 5 years. I think the hope is in the emerging researchers, PhD students, more broadly the young people of the world, I think are more educated, healthier, on average wealthier, but also more motivated than previous generations. And I think that's a consequence of good work in the past, but it's also a testament to those young people as well. So that's where the hope is. And if we're going to address the climate crisis and do it in a way which is peaceful and people can operate safely in their communities, and equality is not challenged by disparities in how climate changes impact people, and that how the solutions impact people, then I think there is a hope. But I think whether it's about climate and the impact of that, or whether it's about wars, or it's about conflict within societies and between societies, in all of those, the hope has to be the young people. And that's been something I've seen in my past career, and I think it's something I see in the early career researchers and PhD students that we have associated with the centre. And part of our role as the centre and as the institute will be to help those young people develop and become very influential in their own fields.